Hey guys, Dave with Moneyology here. Hope everyone is having a great day. Today is October 30th, 2019, and this is the Precious Metals Review. We're going to take a look at various ETFs in the PM space to identify what's actually taking place in gold and silver and platinum. And you'll see there's been a lot of volatility coming into today of late due to the Federal Reserve decision that came in today. They dropped another quarter basis point, quarter of a percent in terms of interest rates, and it wasn't so much the rate drop that was largely expected. It was more so the commentary thereafter, and it sounded like the Fed was very dovish, and that they would be pursuing all sorts of varieties of stimulus, and therefore basically very accommodative towards precious metals moving up. So you're going to find gold and silver right now. They're not in these charts. They're not updated as of today's pricing, but they were largely unchanged. So we probably closed just right under this downtrend here, and this is the daily chart. But notice that the breakout already had occurred prior to this today's price action. So we broke out above this downtrend back in middle of October. We back tested it, and now we're on the verge of a breakout. I would not be surprised if tomorrow, meaning Thursday and Friday, we're going to see a breakout of this and close the week at around 1520, if not higher, to the upside. Here's why. On the weekly chart, which is even far more important than the daily, we're consolidating here at around the 13-week moving average. We've created this very bullish wedge here. And so while it's very possible that we still might consolidate and move higher, I think that we're likely going to make a move to the upside very soon, and then retest this 1566 area at a minimum. Here's the gold bugs index. Notice that even as gold has been consolidating, the gold bugs and various other ETFs that we'll cover have started to bounce. So we've had 3 straight positive weeks in the gold miners. Yet if you look at this, gold is kind of oscillating, hasn't done much over the last 3 weeks. So the miners are starting to outperform, which is a very positive sign. And it looks like their downtrend has already ended, whereas gold still might have a little bit of room to consolidate. Here's the gold miners, another index on the weekly look. It's consolidating above the 50 RSI level. It's got the 13 and 26 EMA serving as support, and it seems like every time it hits this level, around 733 on this particular index, it bounces. So right now it's got a little bit of work to do here, but it's still a bullish flag, and I fully expect a move towards 880 in the coming weeks ahead. Okay, so a couple of short-term charts here. Here's the gold 2-hour GLD. So this is kind of what we saw post the Federal Reserve decision. It was a very nice move to the upside, and you see we closed above the 50 RSI. So tomorrow's consolidation could, or rather follow through, would be very bullish. Notice the volume, very positive. PPO is curling towards a break above zero. So that tells me that the probability is increasing that gold breaks out to the upside. Here's the 2-hour junior miner chart. Same thing. Beautiful hammer pattern and on very strong volume. And folks will attribute this to the Federal Reserve decision or the commentary, but bottom line is momentum had been building for quite some time, and so perhaps the miners were just looking for a reason, a catalyst, or the removal of any impediments to break higher. But now we close the 2 hours above the 61 RSI level, and I think we're setting up for that move at a minimum towards that 41 level, possibly as high as 43, before any real long-term resistance kicks in. Here are the juniors and on the daily, and again we broke out here today, and that's very important. And if there is a follow through tomorrow and confirms that this is not a fake breakout, then again that 40 to 43 level are 2 short-term targets that I'd be watching. Here's the same chart on the weekly. And as I mentioned in the past videos, I felt that 35 to 36 level would hold. It has, and it's moving higher. And then the longer term target is that 50 area that I think is going to be reached at some point within the next couple of months. Silver juniors, 2 hour chart, same type of pattern. You've got the 50 RSI holding a support. Uh, nice candle here, and it's setting up after a couple days of pullback. I think it's setting up for the move higher. Here's the silver juniors daily. Bounced off a support here around that 970 area, coincided with that 13 EMA and the 50 RSI. So now it's curling higher, and it looks like this particular downtrend is about ready to give. And then once 1160 gives, then I think we're moving to new highs. All right, the silver juniors from a weekly perspective. And as you see, this is in a very well-defined uptrend right now. And yes, it's consolidating here, but it really hasn't dropped all that much. If you look at it over the last couple of months, it's basically been flat right here. So bottom line is it needs to break around that 1150 area to resume its move higher. And if it breaks below 9, I think it goes all the way down to a retest of this downtrend around 8. Don't think it's going to happen, but we got to be vigilant about the possibilities. Looks like PPO is starting to curl again to the upside. All right, Palladium on the daily. So I mentioned that Palladium needed to break out above that 69 level, or it could reverse course really quickly because it was starting to show some negative divergence. Well, sure enough, so far on the week, 2% up today on the 2% up on the day, and breaking out above that 69 level is super important, and looks like Palladium only wants to move higher right now. Here on the weekly chart, same thing. It's even though there is negative divergence between this and this, so long as we're above the 69 and RSI level and making new highs in this uptrend, there's no reason why this returns pulls back. Platinum, same thing. Platinum is bounced off that 920 level, which is very important. Really didn't even hit that 50 RSI on the pullback on the back test, and looks like it's getting set towards that 964 and 1000 level in the near term. On the weekly, you see the very well defined downtrend that's been created, and if that gives, then I think we're looking at 125, 1175, and around 1300 on the longer term timeframes. Couple ratio charts, and you see here gold looks like it's going to give against silver to the downside. This ratio breaks and would be very, very bullish for PMs, and it looks very likely like that's going to occur. Here's the GDX, the majors against gold, and they're just consolidating here. You see, it's kind of like a bullish flag, and I think that this is going to break to the upside relatively soon. Junior weekly, notice that today, or rather this week, it's up close to 1%. 3 straight weeks of outperformance, and if this bullish wedge descending triangle breaks to the upside, you're going to see a very strong move at a minimum back towards those 2016 outperformance that we saw in the miners. All right, the GDXJ against GLD. So this is the weekly. Here's the daily. The daily you see has already broken out of this downtrend, and it's above the 50 RSI level. So it just looks strong right now, and there's no reason to assume that the miners are going to pull back at this point. Here's silver against the miners against silver. Also back testing the 50 RSI, but positive for the week and setting up for a move to the upside. All right, so SLV versus gold. So this is the reverse of the gold-silver ratio. This one, as you see, it's consolidating right below the trend line. Looks like it's getting set to break out to the upside, and then the bull rush will really begin. Okay, here's the weekly, silver versus gold. And again, you see the 13 versus 26 EMAs breaking out with the 13 crossing the 26. And you see the various different levels of Fibonacci levels, and this back test was successful, and we're moving higher. Silver starting to outperform gold, and just again, just because I love this chart, it's so clean. Silver monthly, this is what I'm talking about. Silver's on its way towards 22 and likely hits 50 before this bull run is over. Here are a couple more silver charts. Silver daily. Right now, silver is around $18 in the futures market, and so that level likely breaks to the upside relatively soon, and we're going to make a very quick run towards that 1975 area. Silver weekly, well above 61, never even pulled back towards that 50 RSI, and looks like it's heading towards these levels before you know it. And either this rolls over or it could pull back and go to the upside. Either way, a move is coming in silver and soon. Okay, so that's it for the public review. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like me to cover. This will be available through the Moneyology website as well as on YouTube. And so if you're watching this on YouTube, check us out on Moneyology, and then vice versa. If you see this on Moneyology, know that there are videos being posted on YouTube occasionally. And please check out our page on patreon.com/Moneyology. We're going to be covering close to 30 names here that are best positioned to continue with really, really generous upside. And we'll be covering those charts in the premium review. So if you want access to that, either consider monthly, quarterly, or annual subscription to Moneyology, or go visit us at Patreon, and you can get a precious metals subscription for much less, and would appreciate your support either way. Thank you guys. Have a great evening.